With the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, the newest Star Wars film, I thought I'd rank every single live-action Star Wars film from the worst to the best. And if you don't know, I love Star Wars. It's my favorite franchise of all time. So this is my ranking. It's not going to be a super long video, but it's just going to be from the worst to the very best. I feel like Star Wars has had some really bad movies and some of the greatest films of all time. Coming in at last place here is, I guess, a very unpopular opinion, and that is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I've always disliked The Phantom Menace more than Attack of the Clones. I don't like Attack of the Clones either, but I feel like the only good scene in The Phantom Menace is the final lightsaber battle, but I still have problems with it. Why didn't Obi-Wan use his Force Run to get through there? Overall, I don't love the film at all. I don't even like it. I just think it's kind of a very bad Star Wars film. It's watchable. I've watched this film multiple times, but I don't think at all it's a good film, and for me it comes in last place. Coming in at number 10 is Attack of the Clones. I don't like this film either. I think I'd either give it the same grade or maybe the tiniest bit grade higher. That just because I feel like it has some pretty cool scenes. I really do enjoy the scene on top of the roof in the rain with Obi-Wan and Jango Fett, and the big battle at the end with all the Jedis. That's pretty cool, but it does have some of the worst dialogue of all time and some awful acting in this, and it's not a good film either. I don't really enjoy watching the majority of this film, but it is watchable, I guess, but I don't like this film. Now coming in at number 9 is the last film where my dislike is, and that is Solo. I've never liked Solo. I remember watching it the first time in theaters and not enjoying it really, and then I rewatched it a few days before seeing Rise of Skywalker, and I had the exact same feelings on it. The main guy, Alden Ehrenreich, something like that, you know, he's fine just because any person who plays Han Solo will just look like they're doing an impersonation of Harrison Ford's iconic performance. So I don't really blame him, but there's just something about it that I don't like. I think the action is kind of well done, but there's no real emotion behind it that lots of Star Wars has. No real conflict. It just kind of feels like a mission that I'm not always on board with. Rogue One. My main problem with Rogue One is that the characters, I don't feel any connection to them. You know, somewhat spoiler, because this takes place before Star Wars, like 1977. I'm not going to call it A New Hope. That these characters, you know, they're not going to make it through here, but this is the whole thing. You don't really feel some connection with them. Jyn Erso is the only one that you feel a bit of a connection with, but I don't love her character. This film isn't super memorable. I think the action is really good though, and the special effects are insanely well done. I enjoy it while watching it, but it's definitely not one of the most memorable Star Wars films. Coming in at number 7 is one that people will not agree with me on at all, I know that, and that is The Rise of Skywalker, but I really like this film, and this is my own opinion. This is not the best list, this is my favorite, and it's a ranking of my favorite. So I really enjoyed this film. I put out a review just before this, and if you haven't seen it, I obviously won't spoil any of the films in this, but I feel like it may feature the best scene in the sequel trilogy, and that's Be With Me in the third act. It really does have some great action, you know, some things that I didn't like about it, some scenes felt rushed, not the entire thing though, but I still think this is a very good Star Wars film. Coming in at number 6 is Revenge of the Sith. I really like this film. I think it is actually pretty good. It features one of the best lightsaber battles ever and some pretty great scenes. The problem with it is that it still is dragged down by the awful dialogue and some of the scenes, and the last no is really stupid, and Padme's scene, no, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but the big Padme scene with the birth, oh my god, it's actually pretty bad, but the lightsaber battles are awesome. Hayden Christensen isn't bad in this one. He's okay. He has some bad lines, I'll say that he delivers pretty badly, and Ewan McGregor is very good in this, as he is the best part probably of any of the prequels, and the final lightsaber battle is probably my third favorite maybe, but even like the first space battle is also very cool, and I love seeing Anakin's turn to the dark side, and Emperor Palpatine is also super cool. Coming in at number 5, another one a lot of people will not agree with me on, and that is The Last Jedi. I've always kind of almost loved The Last Jedi. There's something I really don't like about it, and that is the casino stuff. I forget what it's called, Canto Bite, something like that, with Rose. Rose is an awful character, you know. But that besides that, the rest of the film is great. I love seeing Rey training with Luke. Mark Hamill is great. It's his best performance inside of the Star Wars universe in this, and it is easily the best looking Star Wars film. It features the best cinematography in the entire saga, and that last battle at the end is phenomenal. I forgot to hold up the Blu-rays and the one DVD, but yeah, I'll just put the poster. Coming in at number 4 is The Force Awakens. I love The Force Awakens. I talked about it a bit in my review of Rise of Skywalker, about my first memories with the film, seeing it in theaters, being in the front row, and I've loved it ever since then. I feel like Harrison Ford is great in the film. He does not sleep on it, and everyone is great. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and especially Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, one of my favorite villains of the 2010s. I'm actually looking at a poster of it right now up there. It features one of the coolest scenes of the 2010s in that final lightsaber battle, which I didn't realize until a bit Endgame kinda ripped off, if you think of it. I really do love this film, and the one scene that was one big death scene, that was spoiled for me, and I will never get over that, Aiden. Now we get into my top 3. They're all from the original trilogy. The original trilogy is my second favorite trilogy of all time, only behind the Dark Knight trilogy, and number 3 is Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi features, I think, maybe my favorite lightsaber battle in the entire thing, and that is the final lightsaber battle between Luke and Vader, and it just has so much emotion behind it when he's like beating down on him with the lightsaber, beating down his own father from it, and the Emperor is so cool and creepy in this with his force lightning. And the ending is great. I really do like Ewoks. I don't see people's problem with them. And everything about this film, I know some people don't love this film, but I still really do love it. You can check out my reviews for all these films on Letterboxd. I kind of started off with some like one line reviews for the prequels, and then they got to bigger reviews. Also, Luke is one of my favorite characters of all time, and he has some amazing moments in there. Coming in at number 2 is Star Wars. Calling it Star Wars, I don't care what you say, the original Star Wars still remains one of the best sci-fi films to ever be created, and it just features groundbreaking visual effects that a lot of them still hold up today. There are a few things, like when Luke ignites a lightsaber where it goes poof, and it, like, you can tell there's a jump cut in there, but that's fine. I love this film, and I don't find any flaws in this one. It features my favorite shot inside of all of Star Wars, and that's when Luke's looking off at the 2 sons of Tatooine. And, you know, Star Wars, it's my favorite franchise, and this is the film that started it. But coming in at number 1 is, in my opinion, a perfect film. 0 flaws with this one. I've watched it, I think, the most out of all of them. I might have watched Return of the Jedi a bit more, but that is The Empire Strikes Back. Talk about a film. From the Battle of Hoth all the way to I Love You, I Know, from the end, which is such a great line. I love that line so much. But that final lightsaber battle, this is also such a well shot film. It's just behind The Last Jedi for me. I love everything about this. It is like a 2-hour, 4-minute film that feels like maybe half an hour. It just flies by, and you appreciate every single moment of it. The lightsaber battle is amazing. It features one of the best twists in history that everyone knows. Even if you haven't seen Star Wars, you know that someone's father. I don't want to spoil it in case you for some reason don't know. But this film, it's perfect. The characters are amazing, and I love Luke's scene where he's upside down in the Wampa cave, and he gets the lightsaber, catches it, whoosh, cuts off his arm. Yeah, I'm a geek for Star Wars. I love it. I had a Star Wars fan club 4 years ago. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I used to say Return of the Jedi is my favorite, but I remember borrowing the DVDs from my neighbor who's 3 houses down, and I remember watching them and being like, yeah, Return of the Jedi is my favorite. I watched this, I'm like, no, this one's my favorite. I love everything about it. It is, honestly, it is a perfect film, and it's one of my favorite films, top 5 favorite film. At times it's been my favorite. So comment your Star Wars ranking down in the comments down below. What do you think of some of them? You can give a grade, number rating of any of them that if you want. I will see you guys next time. Over and out.